In a previous interview, you talked about struggling throughout the season. So what changed and how are you able to turn the page so that the end of the season went a lot better?
Lexie Hull seemed close to fading out of the WNBA spotlight as the 2024 season began. Once the 6th overall pick in 2022, she had built a reputation at Stanford as a winner with the poise of a future franchise piece. But under former coach Christy Sides, her role shrank drastically. Instead of opportunities, she spent more time stuck at the end of the bench while others passed her in the rotation. Questions started circling among fans. Would Hull ever rise to her potential, or was she on track to become another forgotten draft pick left behind?
So you have basketball in your genes. Your grandfather played basketball, your dad, and you have a twin sister who you played basketball with growing up. What was it like growing up in that family dynamic?
Well, we have a super competitive family, and, having my dad play basketball collegiately, knew that basketball was going to be put in my hands at an early age, but my parents were, super excited about having us try every sport imaginable. So, yeah, we grew up, my sister and I, playing a little bit of everything.
Then came the game changer, Caitlin Clark. A once-in-a-generation talent whose arrival didn't just tweak Indiana's lineup, it redefined the entire franchise. Her style brought pure energy, and her presence reshaped the floor. Clark didn't just score points, she commanded attention, pulling everything into her orbit. From the moment she stepped into Indiana, the offense gained direction, the chemistry sparked, and every player's role began to evolve. For Lexie Hull, this wasn't simply about welcoming a new teammate, it was a turning point. Show your support for Lexie in the comments by typing Lexie Show. Let's go!
I think it was important to get to know her off the court because I do think that, connections, getting to know people really play a part in the success of teams.
Paul recently spoke in interviews with She's for Sports and the Dunker Spot, and she didn't hold back. She revealed what truly shifted inside that locker room, how Caitlin Clark's arrival reshaped her career path, and what it all says about the Fever's dramatic turnaround, from a struggling squad to one of basketball's most captivating stories. This goes beyond one player's resurgence. It's about redemption, leadership, and a culture shift that could shape the very future of the Indiana Fever.
Called the clutch player by WNBA fans, and she was drafted to the W in 2022 with the Indiana Fever in the first round as the 6th pick. I'm talking about professional basketball players.
The opening stretch of 2024 was tough for Hull. Despite her decorated college career and high draft status, she struggled to find consistent minutes. Players like Katie Lou Samuelson and Christy Wallace, athletes with far less upside on paper, were carving out roles in the rotation while Hull remained sidelined, left watching with a towel draped over her shoulders.
Beginning of the season, my playing time definitely looked different than it did at the end. So trusting that, I was staying ready, putting in the work so that when I did get the minutes out on the court, that I could take full advantage of them. So I was just really proud of myself for trusting the process and staying the course.
The sting was undeniable. Going from a standout at Stanford to a reserve in Indiana was more than just a shift in role. It was a mental challenge every bit as tough as the physical demands of the game.
The basketball part of the transition is really tough. Everybody out on the court was one of the best players on the college team, definitely the best player likely from their high school team. So it's just this mishmash of best basketball players, and then you're playing against people that have been there for years and years.
Meanwhile, the team was unraveling. The Fever opened the season with a 1-8 record, a disastrous start that left fans in Indianapolis desperate for answers. But as the losses piled up, those answers felt nowhere to be found.
We were just sick that we had lost so many games, and also feeling like we were better than that.
Headlines painted a harsh picture: sloppy rotations, porous defense, and a team with no chemistry. The pressure weighed on everyone in the locker room. For Hull, stuck on the sidelines, the struggle was twofold: battling her own doubts while watching the entire ship seem like it was going under.
Part of my role is just getting to the open spots, and we have such a good offense that people find the open person. So to be that open person, you get excited. You get excited for the opportunity to shoot and score and be part of the momentum.
But Hull refused to let the story end there. She committed herself to the grind, perfecting her cuts, tightening her jumper, and staying prepared for any sliver of opportunity that came her way. Through it all, she leaned on the support of her teammates, players who continued to trust in her potential even when the numbers didn't show it. That belief became her fuel.
What's it like playing off of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston?
I mean, they make my job really easy, right? It's awesome, and it's really cool to see all of them just grow not only from this year, but playing 3 years with Kelsey, 2 years with Aaliyah. They're so impressive.
Then came Clark, and everything shifted. The moment Caitlin walked into that locker room, it felt like the lights flipped back on. Practices had energy again, arenas filled with fans, and Indiana was no longer the butt of jokes. It became the league's hottest ticket. Clark carried that edge, that relentless drive to compete, and she demanded that everyone around her rise to the same standard.
And I think it's really fun because they garner so much attention, obviously, from the other team's defense. So then it allows the other players, me included, to make cuts, make reads, and they're really good at finding, those openings and giving the ball up when it's needed and finding the better shot. So it's really fun, and I feel really lucky to get to play with them.
As Hull joked herself, "We play against the guys in practice, and if they're not winning, Caitlin's going to push them until they're competing." That's more than just bringing energy. That's sparking real transformation.
I mean, I definitely got passes and tried to finish, but I wasn't expecting to get them. So, now it's okay, every cut I have, every cut I make, every fast break I run, I have a real opportunity to get the ball, which definitely, took me a second, and I think it really just took one of those to really get my head around, oh, she's all the way down at the other end of the floor, and she can still make the pass to me down at the block at this end. So, it's been awesome.
What Clark delivered went far beyond star power. It was her mind for the game. She processed the floor at lightning speed, reading defenses like a seasoned quarterback and firing passes into lanes most players couldn't even see. For Hull, it was eye-opening. Suddenly, she was wide open, finding herself in scoring spots she'd rarely touched before. "She's making passes I didn't think were possible," Hull admitted. Clark's gravity drew defenders like a magnet, and her vision sliced defenses apart to free her teammates. The Fever's offense wasn't stuck anymore. It was alive and thriving.
It's so fun to be able to know that you're not just cutting to cut, knowing that you're cutting with the possibility of actually making a really cool play. So that makes it that much more worthwhile.
Clark's fire was infectious. Her competitive edge spread through the roster like wildfire, lifting players who once questioned their potential and giving them the confidence to battle anyone. She didn't just put points on the board, she brought belief. For Hull, that meant everything. Clark's maturity and leadership clicked instantly with the team, raising both the energy and the execution in one powerful swing.
She sees the game at a bigger scale, obviously with the platform that she's created for herself, but then that's transitioned to the game. It's huge. And I think for me, especially as a point guard and as someone that's delivering a lot of passes that lead to shots, if I miss, she's definitely going to say, you got the next one. I can count on her for keeping me confident and positive. So yeah, I think that shows the player that she is and the leader she is as a point guard.